Hi everyone, today I'm talking about my first investment property and I'm updating you for the month of July and the changes that have been made to this investment property. If it's your first time kind of watching me kind of like talk about my development of my investment property for the first time, I'll kind of do the backstory on it, and then for you guys that kind of watch every month and see what's going on, I'll get on to the updates for this month in a little bit. And I've got a video of a tour of all the work that's been done last month, and there's been a bit more done again since recording this video, so I'll update you probably next time in August, and then after that it might be a little bit quiet because it's a bit of saving up time again, because there's a lot of work that will need to be done, which will cost a lot of money. But this time round it's definitely another big batch of money that's been spent. Pretty much most of the garage conversion has been done since the last video. A lot of insulation's been put up, and that thing's bloody expensive to get that insulation. It's so expensive. That's really surprised me. All that kind of the things that I've learned in this like first investment property, insulation is very expensive, and it's kind of like getting ready for getting plastered. But I'll talk about all that after I show you the video. But if it's your first time watching kind of like my investment property, this is the first investment property that I've bought. And the story behind it is that it was in a pretty bad condition. It's actually split up into two properties, two flats, an upstairs flat and downstairs flat. Both were in very bad condition, but the landlord that had it previously was still renting them out, and I don't know how he managed to rent them out because the condition was so poor. Everything's basically been stripped out, plaster's been off. The only thing that hasn't changed is the bricks, and as well as that there's been a few things on the way that have added to the cost as well, and that's why kind of it was supposed to be ready for pretty much a few months ago, but it's probably going to take probably a year longer because of all the problems that we've had, and things going wrong, like people falling through the roof and stuff like that. So the first property, the upstairs property, is pretty much done. In fact, it is done and it's in a livable condition. And basically, that's the one that's going to get rented out. One of the actual flats is probably going to stay in the family and not get rented out. But maybe long term it will do, so both will be rented out. But one was, we're trying to keep it in the family to use, and one of them is going to get rented out, and the top one is the one that's going to get rented out, and that's done. I'll show you some before pictures and some after pictures right now while I'm talking. But that's all done, plastered, bathroom redone, kitchen being done, so that's all pretty good and that's ready to go. A lot of work was done on the roof as well. That cost a lot of money. That's done. And the other thing that's really left downstairs, left now, is the downstairs flat, which same again had to get completely stripped out, and I'll do some photos of what it used to look like, and that now has kind of got to a decent point where it's kind of all been put back together, and it's kind of on the last stretch right now. And I'll show you the latest update of or the video of that I took of the downstairs. So now this is the back room, which basically hasn't nothing's been really done to this at all at the moment. Apart from the window probably will get changed at some point in this room. This is the kitchen now, and we've had the patio doors put in, which look amazing, and there's so much light coming in. You'll notice the back door on the left has been filled up, and it's got all the insulation on now, so that doorway is gone. You can see the divider slightly in the other room. That's gone back up now, because this is the kitchen, that was the bathroom, and this here is the hallway, and on the left hand side is going to be one of the bedrooms, so you can see the framework for that wall has gone back up. And then we go into the new front room where you see the wall has actually been, in a second we'll go in there, and you'll see that the wall has been knocked down, and this is the new front room that's been completely opened up, which looks amazing, to be honest with you. And we've got the doorway to the garage, and you can see in the garage we've got the insulation up. We've got all the framework up, wooden frames. The door, garage door has now been changed, but you can see the original door still there, but a window has now been put in there, so it's actually light in that room now, so you can see. And I didn't really show it right there, but there's also been a loft put in that garage, because the loft is actually slanted, so there's some loft space in there as well that we've put in, which is really useful, which will also add a little bit of value onto the property as well if I ever get to sell it. But overall, you can see there's been a fair chunk of work done. We're kind of on to the last bit right now. So we're probably on the last little stretch now, but it's still going to be quite expensive. there's the plaster to do, the rewire to do, the plumbing to do, and then the installation of the kitchen and bathroom, and then it's there pretty much. A lot of the painting and decorating side, I'll probably do that myself at some point. More than likely that's probably going to be over Christmas, and I'd like to say Christmas is kind of the target of where this gets finished, and then hopefully going into 2020 is when I'm going to hopefully go and invest in my second property, and hopefully a lot of the gains on the stock market, and saving when I can from when I'm not investing into the property. Hopefully that will be, I would have had enough saved up there to go buy a property. So we'll see what happens there, but kind of the end of this year is hopefully the target to finish this property and rent it out. And like I say, 2020 hopefully I'll pick up one more. But like I say, I'll keep updating you with how it goes on, because I think it's quite interesting. I know some of you guys watch it and see how it's coming on. And for some of you guys that are definitely looking at investing in property and are in the UK as well. So I hope you enjoyed that update on my investment property, guys. Thanks for watching, thanks for all the support. Give the video a like, and thank you for the 300 subscribers. I can't believe we're now pushing to the 400 mark, which is amazing. I never thought we would get to that point, so thank you so much for that, and I'll see you in the next video.